Good evening. Good evening.
Hi, everybody. Hey, Angel, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good, staying hydrated.
Nice, nice, nice. We got a special guest tonight, huh?
Yes, we do. His name is Josh Diener.
Hmm.
He is a man of many, many trades. I am so excited to get into this because I have waited since last Tuesday, y'all. Now, I have known Josh for quite a while. He is very, very funny. He is not just a musician, okay? He is also a comedian and he's also an actor. So, like
Nice.
I said, he's a man of many, many trades. So let's just get into this. Let's do this.
Cool. What we gonna without further ado, we're gonna bring him out. Bring him out,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Dean, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Oh,
Sorry. If it's not bleeding, it'll grow back. It's fine.
How are you
Sorry, what was that?
doing?
Hi. I'm just here.
What are you
How are
doing?
you?
How are you doing tonight?
I am doing. Yeah, it's just another typical night in the day of me. So
Oh my
I'm
God,
doing all
Josh.
right.
I swear to God, you keep it up. You're so funny. Okay, I have been waiting to interview you since last Tuesday, so I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. But I just wanted to let you know I'm so excited. So we're gonna get into this, okay?
All right.
So I know that you are a musician, and I know your music comes before, your acting and your comedy and stuff like that. So, like, let's talk about that. Let's get into that. How did you get into music, and why do you play?
Uh that is a deep question. So that's a loaded question. I started playing music when I was 9 years old. And I started with piano. My parents got a free upright piano given to us, and I started tinkering around on that, and I realized that I knew how to, hear music, and so I just started learning songs by ear and teaching myself how to play. And then after that, I graduated to guitar. And I realized pretty soon after that that I really wanted to do drums, not
Mhm.
just because my father had been a drummer as a youth, but because I just felt more rhythmic. I felt the rhythm more in me than anything else. I appreciated the other instruments, but I wanted to be that part of a song and of a band. So I picked that up around 14, and I've been playing drums ever since, in little groups here and there as a kid, and then professionally as an adult, in several different situations, up until, now. Here I am, 42 years old, still playing, thankfully. I'm grateful for that every day. But I've made a lot of changes, made a lot of adjustments in my life, and I'm happy to say that music is still a very integral part of who I am and what I do. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Right. I love that. I really, really do. What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
A little bit of everything. My mom was into old school country from like the 60s and 70s, early 80s. My dad listened to a lot of classic rock, a lot of oldies, 50s and 60s. Beatles, of course, were in our house all the time. So it was very diverse, very
No,
dynamic.
I can't. I can't tell.
I don't know where you would have gotten that idea. Um, but so, yeah, just a lot. Motown, uh, all sorts of different styles. It's you name it, we listened to it
Right.
growing up. So, coming into music and essentially also being a drummer, that helped me to have more of a flavorful approach to how I was playing and what I was playing and what I like to play. I used to just go up and down the radio dial, when people had radios with dials on them, and I would find songs that I liked to hear, and didn't matter what station it was or what style it was, and I would just start playing with it. So it's probably my lighting is terrible. The
Oh, you're
studio.
okay.
No, it's just my computer. Sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, so yeah, I just play what I like. I play what I like. I don't necessarily stick to a single genre.
Right.
Like currently, I'm playing in a blues band in northern Arizona, and I also play in a band that plays 80s music, 80s style music. So it's very diverse, but that's fine. That's where I'm happy, is when I do different things. So
Multiple genres, right? That's what music is all about, is doing different things and trying different things. That's what music is just all about, you know?
yeah.
I love that. So I was going to ask you another question. Oh, yes. What is the name of your band?
Okay, so the '80s style band is called Jenny J, and
Jay.
based in Phoenix. We just recently in April played at Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, opening for the Motels, who was another established an actual '80s band. So we had a really good turnout and a response to that. We are currently going into the studio doing recording of all the songs that we're working with, currently. We're going to be putting those out over the course of the summer. And the other band I'm in is called Don Witcher and the Hellcats. It's a sort of a blues Americana, sort of not your traditional blues. It's got some rockabilly elements to it, some funk, some groove. I
Yeah,
definitely just more flavor into it than most people would think. So I try to round it out and give it some good flavor. So
rockabilly music, huh?
it does lean towards that, yeah.
I know quite a people that do rockabilly modeling and all that. It's a real thing. You know what I mean? I love it. And then when the girls dress up as rockabilly, you just see the dress. I like it. That's pretty cool. So, how did you first get started in the industry? Like, what is your background?
In which industry? Music?
Comedy. So now we're gonna
Okay.
start talking about comedy
Okay.
industry.
So comedy is, it comes in different forms, obviously, different tastes. I have always loved comedy in its various forms. I grew up watching, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis movies, Abbott and Costello, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. And then you switch to the styles of Sesame Street or the Muppets and comedy like that, or Saturday Night Live, sketch comedy. There's different types of comedy, and I appreciated, the intelligence that went into it, the witty humor, jokes that made you think, and then you got it. And then sometimes, you just like that slapstick, physical, in your face comedy. So I grew up with a lot of different styles. I realized at an early age that I wanted to somehow be involved in performing,
Right.
somehow be involved in entertainment in some form or another. But that was difficult. My growing up we had a rough, time of it growing up. So didn't have a lot of opportunities. So by the time I was an adult, I was able to venture out once with the invent of social media. I was able to actually start making connections with people in the areas that I had an interest in, puppetry, comedy, film, music, all those things. And I started making connections, making friends, learning how things worked and how I could get into things. So it wasn't actually until 2019 that I had my first dive into a comedy film, which was a comedy short. My friends at the JP and Beyond channel on YouTube, they were looking for some assistance on a film and they needed some puppetry help. And so I was able to make a connection with them. And that sort of made our connection. Our comedy styles sort of gelled. And we just started working together from that point on. They asked me back on, several different short films they were doing. And that not only started me into comedy acting, but also just acting in general and my exposure to more in-depth hands-on with the film industry.
Right. And I remember you telling me that you are also a puppeteer. So, like I said, everybody, he is a man of many, many, many trades. And I think that is just what is so interesting about you. Many, 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 many trades.
Couple,
Okay.
couple.
That works. So I was going to ask you, who is your favorite comedian of all time?
Oh boy. Again, there's different styles of comedy. If we're talking stand-up
You got to
comedian,
pick
um,
one.
okay. I can't just pick one. Oh, come on. No, I'd have to say all around, I'd say John Mulaney. Um,
Okay.
he's a stand-up comedian, but he's also a comedy writer. And not a lot of people know that until he tells them, of course, but that he was a writer on SNL for many years, long before he started doing stand-up. And just some of that comedy that he wrote was just so incredibly intelligent, and just the way I really appreciate how his brain works, finding jokes and humor in everyday situations that you wouldn't normally find it. So I really appreciate that. So I mean, probably at the top of my list, yeah, it would be John Mulaney.
Do you find yourself connected to him in many ways? Is that why you?
Just in the level of how I can relate to his jokes, how I catch on to them, how I appreciate he approaches things almost from an intellectual standpoint. It's very witty humor. It's very, like, he puts thought into these things, but he's also very quick. Like, if you listen to him in interviews, he's just rattling off one-liners just in the middle of a sentence, and I don't think he even realizes it. But it's
Okay.
brilliant. I really appreciate, what he does.
What got you interested in so many things?
Probably undiagnosed ADHD. Um,
That's why we get along so
because
well, Josh. Come on.
because let's face it, in the 80s and early 90s, mental health was not a very talked about or accepted thing. Kids
Right.
were just, oh, you're fine, just go, oh, he's just hyperactive, just, he just likes a lot of, there's something more there, but so no, I think it was just because I've had such a creative imagination growing up. I'm an only child, and so I
Right.
created my own situations as a kid with my toys, stuffed animals, with Legos, Hot Wheels, whatever it was, just creating my own world, and then, bringing in what I may have seen on a television show or a movie or something, and creating my own scenarios and make believe situations. And I would do that as a kid in my room, just acting out these things, these little skits I would come up with, and to no one's amusement but my own, but that's what kept me occupied. And so I think I went through a period as a teenager and as a young adult where it sort of dipped and plateaued, where I didn't really have an outlet for it. And then it was able to come back in, and I was able to do more with that, here in my later years. But it's going a lot better now than it was. So
So funny. Your later years. I was going to ask you how old are you, but it's okay. We don't need to tell people that, but you should have
I
said
already did
your
actually earlier in
younger
this interview.
years. You're still young. What do you mean?
That's true. Ladies, no.
There you go. See, there you go. Young everybody. Single? No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get you in trouble. Okay, so
With who?
what you what
I'm
YouTube
single.
shows and movies have you been on, and how can your fans find you on your Instagram, your Facebook? How
Um,
can your fans find you?
okay, so this is a double-edged sword question. And by that I mean, yes, I am on all these platforms, but I do not post super regularly. I post when I think about it, and I really don't think that much about it. But I'm on Instagram at the Dean83, and I'm on Facebook at Josh Diener. I think there's maybe like one other Josh Diener, but my profile pic's me playing drums. So, but like I said, growing up, there was no social media. There wasn't that thing. And so I think even now, even though I'm involved in it and I love watching stuff and I love, doom scrolling late at night on TikTok or whatever, it's just, I don't think, oh, hey, I should post something, or I should, and I really need to, because I'm doing a lot more now where I should probably be in front of people more and
You're a
get
funny
more
guy.
attention. But I don't think about it, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
I catch myself doing the same thing, and it's really hard when you're so busy and when you got so many things going on. I wish assistants were a little bit more payable.
That would mean we would have money to pay them, which we don't.
I
So
know.
yeah.
Not yet, everybody, not yet. But I know you have met quite a few famous people in the industry. I was going to ask you because I know, and you have
You
told me
not
a lot
included?
about him. I know about him. I know you've told me about him. I've read some stuff up about him. I'm actually there's a book you told me about it that I read a little bit of. What is his name? And why don't you tell everybody how you guys met?
Okay, so you're catching me at a disadvantage here because I'm trying to think of who you're talking about.
Reno 911.
Oh, okay, Jack. Yes.
Which is a
Yes.
very interesting guy off the camera, very knowledgeable. He has books out there, everybody, if you want to get into acting. He has books, by the way. So Josh, why don't
Yeah.
you tell everybody a little bit
Okay,
about
so
him?
yes, Mr. Jack Plotnick. People might not recognize by the name, but if they've watched, the Reno 911, just to name one thing that he's been in, he was on, oh gosh, what was the name of that show? I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was in the early 2000s. But he's been around for a while
Right.
doing bit roles as a comedy actor, and he would play recurring roles in Reno 911 as random characters, and he's just, this is my type of humor. This guy, as soon as I realized, he was on social media, started following him, started, watching the videos he was posting, and I would comment, reach out, making just observations. I try to work on my comedy also in my replies to people, by how I respond to what it is they post, and that got his attention. And so we've, talked off and on here and there, ever since, for the past few years. Um, and I've put ideas in front of him. I've, bounced things off of him to get his opinion. He's very, very under the radar. But if you do look him up, I would highly recommend that to anybody, because he also offers tips and classes on acting, on
Right,
different ways to approach it and think about it, that gets you out of your head and just into what it is you're doing. And that's really one thing that not only I appreciate about him, but how I've managed to approach acting, which is just, don't stop thinking so much about it, because you're just pretending. We're just pretending as adults to do something a little more serious than what we used to do as kids,
right,
for just the fun of it. So have fun with it, and yes, there's things to remember, there's things to, get in your mind, and things you have to do, and structure and whatever. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're pretending, you're embodying this character, and just be it, and it's easier said than done, obviously. But
right,
that is the way I approach things, at least when I do it. A lot of the things I have acted in, have been more goofy oriented, more, off the cuff, comedy related, just goofball stuff. But I do appreciate, the serious things, the drama, the suspense.
right.
I'm actually writing, as a writer and director, I've graduated into those areas now. But I'm working on some projects that involve, suspense, thrillers, and drama, and that really going to pull at people's abilities to really bring out what I'm wanting them to do. So it's going to be an interesting ride these next couple of years.
That's awesome, and I cannot wait to see what you do. And I know one of the things that you told me too is when you have an idea, you write it down. I know right by your bed, you told me you have a whole drawer full of your ideas and your jokes and just all that stuff so you don't forget. And I remember you told me that, and that's been something that has stuck with me since day one. Because you're my A1 since day one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
and that's, I mean, if anybody wants to know, that's how we got, talking, was through film, local film.
that did
Let's
not happen.
let's not sugarcoat, because I know this show can get, into some of the shade and some of the truth that's actually happening out there. But
Names,
the
but it's
local,
important to let
yeah,
people
without
know.
names, Yeah, the local film industry in Arizona is hit or miss.
Right.
Um, it needs to be approached with caution, because there are those who just prey on people, prey on people's innocence, they prey on people's gullibilities, they prey on people's desire to make it, by
Absolutely.
making promises and, not following through or taking advantage of them. And that's sort of the situation. How we met was on a project. People making promises, and right off the bat, there was red flags to be seen.
Right
There was
away.
a lot of weird things that just didn't make sense, and I started digging and questioning and finding out, okay, I don't want to be involved in this anymore. No, let me get out of this. And then I just happened to see you being involved in it and spoken about, and I was like, let me reach out. She seems like a really nice person. Let me just reach out to her and say, hey, you might not want to.
Right. And that's
So
how we met. Right. And that's how we met. And like we were talking about, oh my God, so many red flags. And you guys, these are the things you need to pay attention to with being in the industry. This is what
right,
model talk is all about, is paying attention to, not just your achievements and the good things, but what's legit and what's not legit. And if you have that weird feeling about something, that gut feeling, go with it.
yeah,
Seriously, go with it,
and
because you've saved me from so many auditions that just yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and it's like, uh, you get wisdom is only gained through experience, and a lot of times those experiences aren't the greatest ones. But we look back and we go, man, I'm glad I learned from that, because now I can help people potentially not get involved in something in the future that might harm them, or cause their reputation to be harmed, because my
Absolutely.
credibility is something I hang on to really tightly, which is also why I'm not involved in a lot. You don't really see me a lot, because I choose to stay away from certain things and certain people and certain projects, because I don't want to get involved in anything that's going to sully my good name or anything like that. I don't want anything to mess with, sort of the reputation that I've built for being integrity based and quality oriented, and just a good person in general. So
Right, right,
yeah, it's
right,
difficult, but it's navigatable.
right. And that was gonna lead up to like my next question on what are your thoughts on the local community, the online, and how have you dealt with the bullies in the past? Because I know that the local community, the bullies, they're not really legit. They're just people that really just stay online all day, every day. They
There are,
don't.
yeah, oh yeah, there's keyboard warriors everywhere you go, and it's funny because, um, gosh, I say it's funny, but at the same time, it does get to you when you read or hear or see people just constantly, their only goal in life is to pick at people. Their only goal at life is to bring people down. And I'm like, how bad does your life have to suck for you to want to bring everybody else down to your level and really try to drag them through the mud with you? No, you can stay dirty all by yourself. I want to clean my clothes. I have a washing machine. Thanks.
Right,
You no, but again, the local music industry, the local film industry, and I'm sure it's relevant in any town or any region you go to. There are cautionary tales to be had. There are things to watch out for. There are things to avoid. But that's where you really have to take the time to observe, to look, to read. If you're on the forums, or the I say forums, I'm so 1995.
okay,
Um, the the Facebook pages and things that are where things are being discussed, you can really see, okay, this person is talking like this, they're so negative, or this and this and that, and it really helps you to weed those out and to approach then the people who you think actually might do you some good, not in a way that you want to use people to get what's better for you, but to attach yourself to these people who are going in that same positive direction as you would like to go. And
exactly.
again, saw that in you, and I'm like, she doesn't, at the time I was like, oh my goodness, she doesn't realize what she's potentially getting herself into. I need to say something. I couldn't, you know, in
I
my
wasn't
heart.
aware of anything about what any of that of what was going on, too.
Yeah, and that situation we know has gotten way crazier since we left it. Thank the Lord that we got
Thank
out
God.
when we did. And you know, there are people who are still going that we know of personally who are still going through some bad things because of that.
Right.
Um,
Right.
you know, yeah. But again, just use your common sense. Don't let smooth talk, don't let flattery, don't let that immediately get to you to where you want to just give your life away to whoever's, you know, trying to talk to you. Use your intuition, use your like I said, I keep saying common sense, but that is really what it boils down to. There's a lack of that in
Right.
today's world. There's a lack of common sense. So, you know, just try to use what you have, your instincts, and talk to people that you trust. Get second opinions, and you know, you can then start to build a circle of people around you who can help you grow in the areas that you're trying to grow in.
Right. And that takes a while because, you know, you really get to learn who are genuine and who are not genuine. And you really have to go with your gut feeling with that. You know, I don't know if it's just with me being a Cancer, y'all, but you know, I feel people's energies like that. You know, you kind of get to know somebody pretty quick in the industry. Um, but yeah, what would you like to say to people who want to start acting?
I would say do it. You know, there's really no other way to do it than to do it. But there are different ways to do it. There's social media now. There's TikTok. There's YouTube. You know, there used to be Vines, but um, there are. That is actually also a cautionary tale. To That's one way you can go about it, but also don't let that be your only thing. I'm going to be an influencer. I'm going to be a social media star. I'm going to be a whatever famous on this. Some people have been able to do that, but don't limit yourself there. Reach
100%.
out again, look on Facebook for, even do Google searches for local improv troops. Look up, I would recommend for people to look up, you know, Jack Plotnick and his acting classes in his book. um, Different methods of how to act, how to get into acting, searching out people who are doing it in your area. Um, there are things here locally, such as the IFP, which is a film-based, independent film-based organization, nonprofit, who not only hosts events associated with like Phoenix Film Festival, but they encourage local filmmakers to build their network, to feature their films at their networking events. And they also hold film challenges, which I've been a part of several. I'm just acted in one that's going to be showing later this month. They do
IFP is what it's
fun
called.
little the IFP, the International Film Phoenix. Yes, they can be found on Instagram on at IFP. And then there's the A3F, the Almost Famous Film Festival. They're local, and it's just a fun way to get to know people who are in the industry locally, who are doing good things, who are doing, you know, fun little projects. And again, a lot of those are like little challenges, but it gets you in the door with people who are actually doing this for a living, doing it regularly, who are actually making short films and feature films and trying to do this, you know, full time. So that's one way to do it. And then just as you were mentioning before, like I have a book, I have notepads on my phone, I have, anytime I have a creative idea, I'm writing it down, even if it's a sentence or a phrase or a tune, I hum it into the phone. You got to keep a record of that stuff because you can come back to it and build on it. Don't think that just because you're not working with someone, or you're not in front of a camera, or you don't have a stage to perform from, that limits you from building your creative ideas. No, those ideas have to start at home. Those ideas start in here. They start by writing them down, by typing them out, however you want to do it. And from there, you can really see what you're working with and go, okay, what do I want to do with this idea or that idea, and build from there. And that's
Right.
that's the way to do it.
You are so smart.
I pretend really well. I play a
You
smart guy on TV.
You've been around the block, you know what to do, and I think that is great advice. Okay, to be telling people, what exactly to get into when they want to get into acting and legitly. But I am going to actually have Angel get on, but I'm going to ask one more question if that's okay. I know
I
we
think
are very, huh?
I might have a minute or two. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I know that we are very religious people, and I just wanted to know, like, what was your quote of today from the Bible?
My quote today, and I can look that up right now. Ooh, hang on a second. Give me 1 second. Pull it up. I don't know if I can pull it up on my phone without getting off the thing, but I
You know
sent it
what?
to you.
I know you did. I know you did, but you know what? That's okay because we could replace that question with another question that I have.
Okay.
I know that God has done a lot for me lately, and probably for a lot of us that are watching tonight. But Josh, for you, I wanted to ask you, what has God and the Lord have done for you lately that has been a blessing in your life?
Oh, what doesn't he do? And a lot of times the way I look at it is it doesn't have to be eye-opening in your face. Oh, he did this, and here he's showing me. It's the fact that I'm waking up every day, I have a job to go to, I have children who love me, I have a roof over my head. I'm managing to keep the roof over my head. I'm managing to pay these bills one way or another. It's, I can't give any credit to anyone but God for helping to make that possible. I've gone through a lot in the past handful of years on a personal level, from a marriage breaking up to a parent passing away, and just a lot of stress, a lot of ups and downs, and uh, it, if I hadn't remembered where my faith came from, if I hadn't remembered what anchored me, then I would have just gone off on a tangent and I'd be lost as a person, because I struggle with depression. I struggle with, anxiety. I struggle with, people throw the word trauma around a lot, but I do have some of that. There's a lot going on in here other than the goofiness on the surface, and so I have to remember, what grounds me, and that's my faith. And above all else, giving Jehovah credit for, um, another day of life and being able to do the things I love without compromising my integrity to Him and the things I believe in, and standing on my beliefs. I would encourage anyone, no matter what faith you are,
Right,
because I'm not
right,
here to promote faith, but
right.
um, find what it is that motivates you, and give credit for your talent where credit is due, and that's the guy who created us, the creative God who gave us these talents, who was creative enough to make such a wide variety of things in this world for us to enjoy and to laugh at and to love and to just admire. So yeah, it's an everyday thing, but and you have to remind yourself every day of things, which is why I read, a daily scripture text and thoughts with that. But yeah, it's, gosh, it's a broad subject to dive into, but in simplistic form, I just really appreciate that God was right there when I was all out over here. And
Mhm.
one thing I try to tell people is, whether it's my kids, whether it's people who have been part of my religious faith for their whole lives, like I have, or somebody I meet in out in the world who I don't know from Adam, I say God is not the problem. God is never the problem for anything you're going through. God stays right here. He holds out his hand, and it's up to you to either take his hand or to come to him. The
Mm.
rest of the time, we're out running around doing our own thing, and we're wondering why life is so bad. It's because we're not coming to the base. We're not coming to the tether. We're not coming to where we know that we can find this. And this world is so polarized now, it's crazy. But that's really the simplest thing, and that's where the peace comes, the peace of mind comes, is in that simplicity of God doesn't go anywhere. He's always right there. We are the ones who leave him. So we just need to come back to our home where we know, we can get that help and support.
Right.
So,
Right. And sometimes the question is, what can we do for him instead of what he does for us? You know what I mean?
right,
Like, what can we do for
right.
him? You
Give
know?
him something to bless.
Right.
Give God something to bless. You don't have to always ask him. People just ask and ask and ask. Hey, what
Right.
can you do for me? What can you do? I need this or I need that, or help me with this or help with that. Well, what are you doing for him? It is
Right.
a give and take relationship. He wants
Right.
to see your faith put in. Faith without works is dead, what the scripture in James says. And so we have to give him something to bless. We act in harmony with our prayers, then he's more likely to say, all right, here's more help.
Right.
So
Right. And there's been times when I've noticed all throughout my life, and I'm gonna have you again on my podcast because there is just so much that we can talk about, especially about mental health. But anyways, to get to the point before this blonde girl forgets about it, um, there's been many times in my life when I have asked, God, early on when I was a teenager for things, and I would never, you know, he's not going to just grant it to you like that. You know what I mean? You're going to have to work for it. You know what I mean? And then
yeah,
later, way down the line, many, many, many years down the line, it just makes sense. Like, oh, it just makes sense. Like that thing I asked for meant like a long time ago, or those little signs you get. You know what I mean? You're not always going to get like a quick
well, no,
response
we're
out of it,
impatient.
you know?
Yeah, we're impatient.
Right.
How
Right.
to be patient as God is patient. He has a different timetable and a different schedule than we do.
Oh, yes. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. All right, Angel, let's get you on. Yeah. Hey.
I was on mute the whole time and I forgot to unmute myself. How you doing? How you doing, Pat? Oh man,
You have the headset on. You're supposed to be the one who knows what's going on. You've got all the equipment.
already. There was a couple things that you had said earlier that I definitely wanted to piggyback on because I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, and I got into film in Colorado, and I was just like playing around one day, and then my guy was like, "You want to come to a shoot?" And they actually needed some extras, so I started doing that type of work. And then I came to Tucson, and I met a couple people here. I came through. I did a show because I do music as well. I do R&B, jazz, hip hop, and I seen how everything was going down here, and then I was some people hooked up with me to come here to Tucson. It was cheap, so I was like, yeah, let me get away from Denver, Colorado prices. Let me Tucson and work as close a city to LA. And we started working on some films, and like I started meeting some, like you were saying, there's some good people here, and there's some bad people that really take advantage of some really good people. And it's just like, man, it's that sucks that people will say, I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna pay you, and they do all this work, and then it's like they don't come through with what they said, and other
Yeah.
things that happen here. But like people that I don't know if you know Peter Loyne.
I've heard the name. I don't know him personally.
Okay, I did 3 nights in hell with him. That was a pretty good. It was pretty funny. It was they had it at the Loft, I think it was called, the Loft on Speedway.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I
The
think it's
loft.
called the Loft. And then Philip Panza, he's out there in Phoenix, but he's getting better with little books, little films. He's getting deeper and deeper into the business. But yeah, man, I'm about to finish my theater arts major at Pima Community College. Somebody told me to get into that, involved in that when I got here. I'm
That's cool, man.
about to finally get my degree. So, hey, if you ever need some extras or whatnot, I could cover
Right
up my
on.
I can cover up my tattoos.
Right on. I'd like to see what you've have you done any plays with the group since you've been in them?
Right now we've been just we're heavy on the monologues. We do a lot of monologues at Pima, and I've done some auditions at Pima, but it didn't really it was just not a good fit. They
What if I could ask, what method do they primarily focus on teaching when it comes to acting? What method are they heavy on?
um just pretty much like I mean as far as method, um I would just pretty much say just like what we've been doing is just being yourself, but try to get into that person's shoes, but don't try to get in too involved. Um, don't overdo it. Don't overreact or overact. I wouldn't say overreact.
Yeah,
Over
yeah.
overdo it. like
Uh,
there's
Half of
like
bad acting comes from overacting, putting too much effort into it.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say this person's name. I'll just say that her parents own a really big comp or like it comes around like only on Halloween, but she just walks around like, and she's really good. She's like she gets really involved into the scene, but I think sometimes she just kind of overdoes it, and I'm just like, man, you go to Broadway and do that, man. There's people out there that'll smoke you, but it's
Some people, yeah, what there is a big lack of in the music industry here and in the film industry here, and I've seen it elsewhere, but a big part of it here since I've lived here is there's a lack of constructive criticism. There is a lack of
mhm,
people actually stepping up and going, "Hey, that was good, but perhaps you might want to work on this or that or the other." And there's also a lack of receptive attitudes going, "Hey, what can I do better? Or what do you think of what I did? How can I improve what better?"
mhm.
Everybody seems to think, "Oh, their poo doesn't smell and they're going to be the next Oscar winning short film, whatever it is." And
Oh my
it
God.
shows.
Yes, absolutely.
shows. So,
There-
no,
eh,
I totally relate to what you're talking about.
there's this Hispanic girl from I think she's from Los Angeles, but man, she could sing and act and just and she's so humble to everybody. You think she be like, I don't want to talk to you or don't talk to me or whatever. I asked her about doing a feature for one of my tracks on my next album, and she was like, "Sure, here's my information," and I was like, "Oh dang."
Hey, that's awesome. Those are
she's
the type of
real.
people I like to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good. Like for
Yeah.
real. She gets into any part. She's already gotten into like four different plays, and she just got there. She's like a freshman at Pima, and I'm like, wow, you're gonna be good because Pima they got a big since they cut their football program, a lot of their money went into the theater arts program.
Oh, that's cool though. That's good. Because not a lot of
Yes,
places do that
yes. But
anymore.
anyway,
Yeah.
back to you, my good sir. We want to talk a little bit about before we play it, a clip of it, or actually the whole short. Could you tell us a little bit about conspiracy and the therapy?
Conspiracy theory. Okay, so a couple months ago, the A3F, the Almost Famous Film Festival, did their annual 72-hour film challenge, which they give you 3 days to create a film, edit it, finish it, send it back to them based on a theme. And what they do is at the beginning, the opening night, they will give you either a line or a phrase that you need to use somewhere in your film. They'll give you like a theme or a scenario to base it around, or they'll give you a prop that you have to use. And so they did that. And again, my friends at JP and Beyond, they called me up and said, "Hey, would you like to? We're going to do this." I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." So they wrote the script in a night, and we started filming it the next day. And there's changes we make on set at the time. We're doing it during filming, and we're rewriting and we're directing things a little bit, whatever. So it evolves as you're doing it, but it's a really good lesson in not only having fun but also filmmaking, crash courses in filmmaking for people who aren't really that in the know about it. That's a good way to start. I would recommend, as I was talking to Angel or to Cheyenne earlier about getting into that, looking those up. But yeah, that's really what it was. It was a 72-hour film challenge project, and we threw it together and got it in on time, and it was fun. Got to show it in the theater, and so yeah. Well, there it is. Credit where credit is due. JP and Beyond. Yes.
For sure. All right, let's go ahead and run. I was like super into. I was like, what did he uncover? There was so many questions. Why the draw four card? Why the eight? I was looking at everything. I was like, man, I got some questions right here, man. But
All right. All right. All
let's,
right.
let's go.
Go for it.
Let's get into this. There's a storm over here. My bad, y'all.
Okay, last one.
So funny. Oh god.
Lag a little bit on your end.
Good afternoon. Yeah, so, hi. Your neighbors have begun the process of putting solar on the roofs, and I was just wondering if you were
Which neighbors?
the neighbors in the neighboring town. Anyway, listen, it's going to save you a lot of money. I
But
think
I
if
don't-
you just
I don't
heard
have
me
any-
out.
I don't have time. I'm in the middle of.
Yeah, so I mean,
This is it.
yeah, so we just need your number, and actually, I can call you. I can call you as long as you get the number, and your roof slant's really good for these. The inspection's free, so you don't even have to worry about that. So if we just get your number, we can have the guy out there next Thursday, and we really take care of everything, permits, everything you can imagine. And inspection's free. We can have boots on the roof by Thursday. I just need your number in my phone. In my phone. What the?
No. What have you done?
Listen,
What-
actually, you
no.
can keep the pamphlet. Actually, you just
No,
reach out
no,
to my
no,
boss. Yeah, no, I think that's better. I think that's
I'm so
better.
sorry.
I feel like that'll be good.
So sorry. I can't let you leave.
What?
You've seen too much.
No, I really didn't see that much.
You've seen this? This is everything.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, right.
I don't.
I can't let you leave. You should never have come here.
You think I understand all this?
It's crystal clear, okay? They can't know what I've uncovered.
I won't tell anybody.
That's not good enough. I don't think I can trust you. They don't want you to know any of this stuff. Life is full of surprises. But I've been one step ahead of them this whole time. Now, they'll come for you. They'll come for me. And then they'll be unstoppable. Oh.
That guy was crazy. I had the keys and energy. The keys with the energy and the puka shells. He was right. He was right.
All right.
Hey, what was the movie shows about?
That's not important. It's not important. Hey, listen, you ever heard of these A3F people?
Worst people alive.
Nice. We usually have the hand clap, but hey, but yeah, I like that. I like that, man. It was dope. I had to watch it twice. I was like, what is with the withdrawal for and all of that? What did he uncover?
There was, yeah, it pokes fun at conspiracy theorists, obviously, who
Right.
try to find meaning in literally anything. And that Uno card actually was on the coffee table the day of. They had most of that room put up with all the string and everything. They were doing that by the time I got there. And I was like, I can see the randomness and everything you're putting up. Hey, why don't you put this up on the wall too? That's gonna make people go, what does that even have to do with anything? So
Draw four.
right.
Oh,
That's
I know
right.
my
Oh,
But they
feet
want you to
hurt.
think.
yeah, that's a little comedy.
Yeah, so that was a fun little goofy thing we did. Yeah.
For sure. Uh, well, did you have any more questions, Miss Angel Vindiola?
Oh, good. You said it right this time. Vindiola. That's how you say it, by the way, people. Most people don't know how to pronounce it, but you say it like Vin, D, and then Ola, bitch. I'm here.
Hola, hola.
Okay. So I basically asked all the questions that I wanted to ask, but Josh, I definitely want to have you again on my podcast. So what do you say?
Yeah, sure. No
Yeah.
problem. I would love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question for philosophy. Did you notice at the very beginning of that? Did you catch our Easter egg with the Pizza Planet truck?
You know what? I was gonna say something about that because there's other videos that I noticed that was about Toy Story and whatnot. And I was gonna I was like, maybe that doesn't have anything to do with it. Maybe it's just but yeah,
No, there's a whole JP and Beyond universe. There's a JP verse, and actually, Jonathan, the main creator of the channel, he's got a Pizza Planet replica movie truck, and he loves Toy Story so much. He did a live action Toy Story remake, one of his very first projects, and he puts Toy Story Easter eggs, excuse me, in all of his films.
wow.
Pizza truck is usually one of them. So yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna dive into that though for sure. And there was another one more question before we let you go. I just wanted to make. I know I got maybe a connect, but people out there maybe they didn't catch it. But I got the film festival for the Arizona is IFP.
IFP, yes, it's under IFP on Instagram.
Hmm. And then it's ISP is the other one.
IFFP.
Oh, okay.
IF in um Almost Famous Film Festival. And the
Almost
logo is A3F.
A3F. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely been trying to get involved with the film mixers and film festivals and trying to meet more people in the industry for sure. But yeah, if you ever need some extras or anything like that, I'm willing to come by and work for free for
Hey,
sure.
yeah, you should come up at the end of the month for the screening for the latest IFP, the 48-hour film challenge. It's going to be the 30th and the 31st at the Harkins in Scottsdale.
Harkins at Scottsdale. Harkins.
And as for like everybody else too, if they're
Yeah,
interested.
anybody Anybody can come. Yeah, if you look up on socials, you can usually find the link to tickets, and usually these things sell out. It's a pretty good turnout.
31st. Cool. All right, it was nice meeting you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Like she said, I'm gonna see you soon. Everybody's gonna see you soon. It was nice to meet you, and you have a wonderful night. And God bless.
All right. Thank you very much. You too.
Thanks for coming on the show. You guys see you next week, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Have a good night. God bless.
Thank you for watching.